Imagine living in a world controlled by one evil and powerful ruler. This ruler discriminates against those who of impure blood, and he enjoys killing just because he can. This ruler is Lord Voldemort. All of Great Britain would have been under the harsh reign of Voldemort had it not been for Harry Potter. But thanks to Harry, Britain was free from his tyranny. Harry obviously deserves praise for killing Voldemort, but he should be praised for many other reasons as well. Harry was raised by his horribly mean and unfair aunt and uncle as a result of his parents being killed. Furthermore, he values friendship above anything else, which is something that all of us can do. These are just two reasons why Harry deserves to be praised. When he was just 1 year old, Harry's parents were killed right in front of him by Lord Voldemort, but he was lucky enough to survive. As a result of this tragedy, he was forced to live with his aunt and uncle. Harry's aunt and uncle treated him more like a slave than like their own son. They underfed him, didn't give him any gifts for his birthdays or Christmas, and he was forced to sleep in a cupboard underneath the stairs. And if he did anything suspicious, like accidentally perform magic, he would be punished severely. He would be locked in his cupboard and not be given any meals for a week. Now, one might think that given the way he was raised, Harry would grow up to be mean and probably a bully. But Harry did just the opposite. He grew up to be a very nice and polite kid, and would always stand up for those who were being picked on. One great example of this happened in their first year at Hogwarts. A boy named Neville Longbottom had just had an item stolen from him. Harry then confronted the thief and demanded that he return the item to Neville. The thief refused, but Harry persisted. He eventually got the item back for Neville. He could have easily just sat back and done nothing. After all, he wasn't being harmed in any way, right? But he couldn't do that. He had to stand up for someone who was being unfairly picked on. So while many people may have become bullies had they been raised the way Harry was, Harry chose to instead stand up for those who were being bullied. Another reason why Harry deserves praise is that he values friendship over anything else. When they first arrived at Hogwarts, Harry was confronted by a fellow first year, Draco Malfoy. On top of having a very sinister sounding name, Draco is also very obviously a bully. So Draco approached Harry and told him, "You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you there." But Harry could easily see that Draco was just implying that he is greater than everybody else. So Harry responded by saying, "I think I can tell the wrong sort of myself, thanks." Harry instead became friends with Ron Weasley. Now, as opposed to Draco Malfoy, Ron's family had very little money and Ron possessed no extraordinary talents. But Harry didn't care. He became friends with Ron anyway. This just shows that Harry doesn't care what kind of money his friends have or what talents they possess. He just is friends with them for who they really are. Harry also puts his friend's safety above his own safety. One example of this occurred in their 6th year at Hogwarts. Harry was about to go on a mission with Dumbledore to destroy one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. Harry had reason to believe that some of Voldemort's followers would break into Hogwarts that night while Dumbledore was gone. But Harry also had his little potion known as Felix Felicis, which guarantees luck to the drinker for hours. Harry could have easily just drinking the potion himself and guaranteed safety and success on his mission with Dumbledore. But he couldn't do that. He had to give the potion to his friends that guaranteed their safety over his own. Another example of him being unselfish happened about 1 year later. Harry knew that he would have to die in order for Voldemort to be defeated. So rather than run away from this, he instead confronted his fate. He allowed Voldemort to kill him. But as a result of events that happened 3 years previously, Harry had a major choice to make. He could either remain dead and just rest in peace for all of eternity, or he could come back to Earth and try and save his friends from Voldemort. Harry, of course, chose to come back from death. He then killed Voldemort and protected all of his friends from ever having to suffer again. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to risk coming back and suffering. He didn't have to risk being killed again, but he chose to anyway to save his friends. Harry Potter obviously deserves lots of praise. He stands up for those who are being bullied, and he values friendship over anything. Harry saved Britain from the tyranny of Voldemort. And finally, Harry showed us that it is our choices that show what we truly are, not our abilities.